Welcome back to Melanin Swirl Tea Time with Lala and Vita. Start with a flicker and soon you will light the way.
Hey, Sugar Wuggers.
So the question of the week this week was, how would you describe your closest friend to her match if you were setting her up on a blind date? We didn't get any responses this week, but Vita and I did discuss it.
We did.
And if I were going to set my girl Vita up here on a blind date, of course I would say she's 5'5", brown skin, thick thighs, all of that.
And I'm 5'10". So she gonna keep me somebody that's 5'7". It ain't gonna work. Don't let your bud set you up. No, I'm just joking.
Are you really 5'10"? I didn't realize you were that tall. That means don't get me to set you up on a blind date. Just don't trust that.
I'll be dating a little person. Love little people.
But more so than describing her to him, I would be more interested in finding out more about him to see if he fits into her characteristic. Right. I think it's important to set people up with people who are like-mindedness, people who have the same thoughts and feelings around things like finances, religion, and politics. But at the same time, I also think it's important to set people up with people who are going to complement their shortcomings in certain ways. So, for example, if I know that my girlfriend loves to spend money every time a dollar hit her hand, she at the mall, I'm going to set her up with a guy who doesn't have money problems at all, that money flows like water to him, because they're going to be great together. And likewise,
well, if she spend money, and now we all want that man that money just flow like water.
We do, but not all men have money that flow like water, right?
Absolutely correct.
And our hardworking guys who value every dollar, they deserve love too, and they're really good guys.
Yes,
and they are great. They can be great lovers. I don't know for sure, but I hope they are. But I want to hook a guy like that up with one of my girlfriends who is a whiz at stretching a dollar. I have a lot of girlfriends who are very money conscious and make great decisions when it comes to money, because they'll take a guy like that and make his check stretch so much that he'll be able to do things he never thought he had the ability to do, right? Mm-hmm. So these are the kind of things I think about when I'm going to hook people up.
Right.
Like I do.
I don't do it. I'm on my neck and turn my head. Oh, girl, who that? I don't know. Is that your cousin? Mm-mm. You on your own. Because it always ends bad. It's bad. Just don't do it. But if that's your ministry, rock out. Listen, you never know. But I ain't hooking you up with nobody I know, so don't ask me. You're not happening.
I love love, and I want everybody to have love.
I love love too, but I ain't doing it. It can create a issue.
It could.
Between the friends, no matter which, not saying that it doesn't, but let's just be, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Mm-hmm. I just see stuff go really left.
Yeah.
And, like La, she said, oh, I got my girl, she thick thighs, brown eyes, 5'5".
5'10".
5'10". But then she hooked me up with somebody that might be 5'8". Oh, she 5'5". And he meet me, he like, she ain't 5'5". I'm like, he ain't. How tall? Because I'm an ass. B, I got this dude. How tall is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he about 5'8". A lot of 5'10". You got to be this tall
to ride this ride.
But the really, really right, it can go really, really right or really, really wrong. However, with that being said, it still takes us back to some of the things that we've been talking about. Adult conversations.
Yes.
Growing pains, because you still have to ask questions. You still have to communicate. You still have to do these things. And there are some tall women who are into short men. Not me. But it could go really, really right.
Yeah.
And when it does, you have the outcome of what impacts the hookup.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of impacts and hookups, what's the impact of dating? Like, it's also important to know, what is your reason for dating? Are you just dating to have fun, or you're dating with a purpose? You're dating with a goal? And then where do you even, it's 2025, where do you even find people to date? Do you go to bars, or do you do online dating?
How do you date? And we are women of a beautiful age.
Yeah.
Where do you go to find men in 50, 40, 50? Because I'm not going to the bar to find no man. I
found my man in the
I
bar,
mean,
so.
I have, don't get me wrong, I have found him in there. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, but been there, done that, got t-shirt and hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't want Deacon Craig at church, and I ain't no Deacon Craig's at my church, let me just say that. But where do you go? Like, because in your 20s, you think about it, when we're 20, we out.
Yeah.
We out and about. We meeting everybody. We at the Freaknik. We over here. We over there. College, blah, blah, blah. Your 30s, you kind of still doing the same. 40s, you kind of into your career a little bit. You slowing down. You're raising your children, or have raised.
Yeah.
Your children might be on their own key kind of age. But 40, 50... was it a referral program?
Yeah. And back in the day, people used to meet each other at work. Like, you would meet people at work, or
I don't want none of them men at work.
Right. That's what a lot of people are saying nowadays. And people also don't want to just put themselves out like they're in the workplace.
Right.
So this online dating, I hear a lot of people use it. And I've heard some success stories. I know at least one of my girlfriends who met her husband on a dating app, and they're doing great together. So there are some success stories, but I've also heard some horror stories as well. So
yeah, I can tell you a few. Another topic for another day.
Do you guys have any? Let us know if you have any tips on how to do safe online dating.
Yeah.
What are some of the things we should watch out for, and some of the things we should do to make sure we're keeping ourselves safe if we choose to do online dating?
Yeah. That's definitely an issue, safety for women and men as well, because some of y'all ladies are a little touched by angel too. I heard horror stories from the men, but once again, this is a safe place for just us, so we can communicate what we hear and vice versa with you guys. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I shared a video with Lala. It was a young lady who had 2 wives and a girlfriend. So I have a question. How do you feel about poly relationships? How would you feel if your significant other had 2 wives and a girlfriend? Like, what does that look like, And I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of the girlfriends is now channeling to be a wife.
Yep.
So, and they're the monogamies, and she's the poly.
Right.
So she can date freely, but they can't. Okay.
Yeah.
So what does that look like for y'all? If your significant other, be it male or female, no judgment zone here. We hug and we don't judge. If your significant other had you as a wife or a girlfriend, and there was 4 of y'all in this, what does that look like for you? With kids, without kids, raising kids, and in this particular scenario, they were raising 3 children.
Yep.
But she was adamant that she's the poly and they're monogamous, and if they wanted to change, then they had to leave the relationship.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? How do you feel if you were in this relationship? And what are your thoughts? Like, is that acceptable in that type of relationship? I mean, that's not something that I'm into. I'm just not into sharing. I'm greedy and I'm jealous, so yeah, it ain't happening.
I have always been a fan of watching those polygamy TV shows. I can't remember the name of them right now, but Sister Wives, right. I've always been a fan of watching shows like that, and I've been intrigued with like the village type of mentality in those households where you have so many people to help you, basically just live regular life and take on the regular responsibilities. But I myself, I'm not a sharer. I'm not a sharer. Again, no judgment zone, but please let us know how you feel about it, what you think about it. It could work for some.
I mean, I like the village piece because we have that now. You know, your children and our families, and we all are intertwining. And Thanksgiving, Christmas, somebody's kid is over here, and you going to Virginia, and you know, the kids are everywhere. So you already have that village mentality established from whatever. But to go into a, you know, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
I watch you do it.
Yeah.
As a friend.
Even the finances. How do you handle, because in most most monogamous relationships, money is shared between the two. But if you have 4 people, so there is the polygamous one, and she has 2 wives and then a girlfriend. So how are they sharing finances? Who's paying for what?
I don't know. It didn't show us in the clip who was making the money.
Yeah.
But yeah, what y'all think that look like? And I'll put the clip in here so y'all can see it. That way you can see it through your lens, and then you can give us some feedback, because we were just a little curious. It just happened to fall in my lap, and I shared it, and I said, huh. So it doesn't have to be same-sex polygamy, poly. It can be male-female polygamy. But either way, what does that look like? How do you determine who's the breadwinner or who's the...
Yeah.
You know, I understand the village piece of course, everybody wants somebody else to cook on a different day. I don't want to cook every day, but I want to share the bacon dough.
Or the sausage.
I don't want to share none of that. You know, you want to come and cook, by all means, have at it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would be okay with, it's 4 of them, it's 3 of them, so every other day somebody get a day, or no. So I don't think I'm good with that. So with that being said, we're going to stick with dating, and you know, what's the purpose of dating? Is it a sport? Is it for, you know, or you date with a purpose? Where do you find people of substance outside of dating apps? Because dating is easy. Where do you find that? That's right at your fingertips. We can be who we want. We can be Instagram gangsters and Facebook bully all day behind electronics. But where do you go outside of girlfriends? And you know, I'm not into the hookup, so that's not what I'm asking. But
no blind date.
No, I'm okay with a blind date.
Okay.
But when I say hookup,
okay,
we're not hooking up. So when I say hookup, I don't mean hookup like that. I mean, where do you go to get the hookup? Like,
got you.
Like,
okay.
Outside of going to the bar,
yeah,
and outside of going to church, where do you meet people? I mean, they do got speed dating, but you know, I ain't found nobody got enough courage to go with me to do it, because I'm not going by myself. But anyway, we wanted to drop that in there to you, and we'll get a question out there about dating and tell us how you feel about it. But just remember, always shine unapologetically in the dark.